Welcome back to Let's Play Metal Gear Solid 2. We have just defeated Fatman, and for the moment, the Big Chill is safe. But we still have all the other terrorists to worry about. They have the President, they have the other hostages, and they have the nuclear football. So, we got some problems on our hands, and Ryan's gonna have to go deal with them now. Whoa! Oh, jeez.
You passed with flying colors.
Identify yourself.
I'm like you. I have no name.
Are you Mr. X?
If you like. But come, let's get out of the open. Follow me.
Are you with Foxhound too?
Neither enemy nor friend. Just a messenger from the Lali Lulelo. This is safer, I think.
Safe from what?
Eavesdropping, of course.
All right. Why did you contact me?
I've been ordered to give you backup, including the relaying of necessary intel.
Ordered by whom? Why won't you identify yourself?
There is no need for you to know.
I'll decide whether I need to know.
You are not yet trusted to make such decisions. I'll tell you something you do need to know instead. The current location of the President.
What?
Or rather, the person who knows the current location of the President.
Who is it?
A Secret Service agent named Ames, currently being held with other hostages.
Secret Service, huh?
The head of the President's security detail, Ames, has been fitted with the same type of VIP nanomachine system as the President. If you're within range, you should be able to communicate.
Why are you telling me this?
Do I need to repeat myself?
There's no reason for me to believe any of this. You understand that?
Of course, but you also have no choice but to believe. Do you have any other leads?
Where are those hostages?
The hostages are being held in the B1 conference hall in the Shell 1 core. You'll find Ames there.
What does he look like?
We don't know if it is indeed a he. I've never met this person either.
How am I supposed to look for someone without even a description?
Use your ears.
What's that supposed to mean?
Ames has a pacemaker. You'll be able to hear the machine sound in the heartbeat.
You expect me to walk up to these hostages and listen to every one of their heartbeats?
The sound is too minute to detect and amplify it. You'd be captured immediately.
So what am I supposed to do?
Use the directional microphone. There's one somewhere in the core. Take this. The security card will unlock all level 2 security doors, including the one into the core. It's called a PAN card. It works together with your body's own electronic field. And watch yourself. The core is more heavily guarded than any other section of the big shell. You'll get nowhere just like that. Try this instead.
One of the terrorists?
The surveillance camera won't let you on the elevator without the right uniform.
You want me to disguise myself?
Men assigned to the core and those on perimeter duty are given different colors to wear. Your new outfit will work in some areas, not others. The uniform alone won't fool them either.
You're talking about weapons.
Right, you need an AK.
But I saw them carrying an AN-94.
All men assigned to the core section carry AKs.
So without an AK-74U, someone will see through me really quick.
You could take care of the weapon issue yourself. One other thing.
There's more?
You'll also have to pass a retinal scan to get into the conference hall.
Biometrics. Crap.
Nothing but the real thing will suffice. Deception is not an option here. I suggest you hurry. They have the nuke on their side.
The nuke? They have a nuclear weapon with them?
You didn't find their continuing presence here unusual? Even with the president as hostage, this is an island, and they have no visible means of escape.
Even if they do have a nuke, the warhead is no good without an access code. The security lockout can't be bypassed.
They don't need to. They have the code. You saw it too, I believe. The Navy man with half a handcuff. The other half of it is on the football, or the black case if you like. The nuclear button. And now they have it.
Why did they have to bring the football along? To a decontamination plant of all places.
But they did have to. Because, after all, the big shell is the farthest thing from a cleanup plant there is.
What?
Dead Cell didn't have to bring a nuke along with them. It was right here to begin with. Nothing in this affair is what it seems.
A cover-up? But why? For what?
For Metal Gear that is housed here.
Metal Gear?
The very same. Bipedal nuke came from the aboard Shadow Moses infamy. This place is the R&D center for its newest incarnation.
What the hell is going on?
Better ask Ames the rest.
What's this for?
You might be glad you have it. Keep the controller's vibration function on.
What do I need a cell phone for? Colonel, who was that man just now?
He's not one of ours. No, we have no one like that in our unit.
He said that the big shell was housing a new model of Metal Gear.
First I've heard of it.
Colonel, what are you not telling me?
I've been completely open with you, Raiden. I've told you everything.
Is that everything you know? Or everything I need to know?
Snap out of it, Raiden. I'll have the Metal Gear rumor looked into. You need to make contact with this Ames.
So you believe that ninja?
Since we have no leads on the President's current location, we have no other alternatives. Right now, collect as much data as you can, including anything on Metal Gear.
Are those my orders?
Yes, they are. Disguise yourself as an enemy soldier and infiltrate the Shell 1 core.
Understood.
Jack, is that you? Got a minute, Jack?
Rose?
I found some information on where Solid Snake is interred.
Great. Shoot.
I've located the grave site.
And the body?
Exhumed for DNA testing.
Well, do you have the results?
The right arm was missing, but there was no doubt that it was him. That body belongs to Solid Snake.
So the head of the terrorist group must be...
An imposter.
Right.
You sound disappointed.
I guess I was kind of hoping to meet the legend in the flesh.
I get you. But it looks like he's not behind this incident.
Raiden, the President needs you, I think. Disguise yourself as enemy personnel and infiltrate the core section. Your priority is to contact Agent Ames.
Oh, so they did find Solid Snake's body in the wreckage and they buried him. And they did DNA tests on him, which they were somehow able to get back within a few minutes rather than the days it takes in reality. And confirmed that, yeah, that is Solid Snake, so maybe he is dead after all.
Pliskin, do you read me?
What's up, Raiden?
I just ran into a guy decked out like a ninja.
A ninja?
Yeah. Do you know anything about this?
No. Can you trust that costumed freak?
I don't know. But the colonel told me to follow the guy's instructions.
And like a good soldier, you'll do it, right? I'll let you in on a little secret, kid. The ninja that was publicized in the Shadow Moses incident no longer exists. The guy you met has no connection whatsoever with the incident.
And how do you know that?
Because I do.
Huh?
Just be careful who you trust, okay?
Now, how about that? Obviously, we were going to come up with our own connection between this ninja and the cyborg ninja that was in Metal Gear Solid. That was Gray Fox. That was like a ninja, like his body was modified to become like a ninja, robotically enhanced and all that kind of stuff. This is quite clearly not the same person, because that ninja was killed by Liquid Snake piloting Metal Gear Rex. So who is this person? The Russian accent gives it away that maybe this person is one of these terrorists. But other than that, we really don't know anything about this ninja. Another further connection was back when we were first contacted by this ninja, this other cyborg ninja.
There's somebody there.
Oh, jeez. Just run for it. It wanted to call itself Deep Throat, which is what Frank Yeager wanted to call himself in Metal Gear Solid 1. Now, Deep Throat was what the person who informed on the Watergate scandal back against President Nixon referred to himself over the phone. Didn't want to be identified. Eventually he came out a few years back and said, yeah, I am the guy who did all of that. And this was years after. I guess he was afraid of getting knocked off or something. But that's way off the point. You trying to kill him? Another thing about this M9, I was thinking about this. And a few episodes back I said I didn't think the M9 used in this game was a realistic weapon. And I still don't think it is. I don't think it's a real thing that anyone has actually ever built. But I thought more about it. I think maybe it might be physically possible for a weapon like that to exist. Because I was thinking that since the M9 is a real weapon, it's a Beretta design 9mm weapon, which is a standard issue in the US military nowadays. But it wasn't a tranquilizer weapon. It fired real 9mm bullets. So how would you modify something like that to fire tranquilizer darts? And it didn't really seem possible for a while. But then I started thinking about it. Maybe if you adjusted the way it worked, instead of firing the 9mm bullet, you had to put in a tranquilizer dart, which had to be 9mm wide, which is pretty small for a tranquilizer dart. And at the same time, you had to... Oh, jeez. He almost got his call out. Might as well leave before anyone shows up. You have to remove most of the M9's powder charge, or else that tranquilizer dart would just shoot all the way through the person and kill them anyway. So you had to remove most of the powder charge, which would make the shot quieter. And of course you have the locking slide, which makes it quieter as well. But there's a lot of things that make... He has a cell phone? I don't remember that. Aside from removing the powder charge, to basically being barely more than the blasting cap there. And maybe a few other things you would... Ah, damn it. No point in blowing them out of the sky. I'm just saying maybe it might be physically possible to build a weapon like that. Not saying the one in the game is realistic. Just that it's not entirely off the wall and insane. If you did all the stuff I suggested just there, it would be a very inaccurate weapon and not something that would be practical. But just saying, like, it's not completely insane. Now we're here to get an AK-74U, or an AKS-74U, which was a Soviet and now Russian assault rifle. Okay, we just have to squeeze underneath this. Unfortunately, this is not the AK-74U, this is an M4. The M4 is an American-designed assault rifle. It's sort of a carbine version of the M16 assault rifle that was designed to sort of be a cross between a pistol and an assault rifle. It's smaller, so it's easier to carry around, it's lighter, maneuver around in smaller spaces. But since it's shorter, the barrel is shorter, it sacrifices some accuracy and muzzle velocity in order to achieve that smaller size. But the M16 has proved to be so popular that, or rather the M4 has proved to be so popular that the United States Marine Corps has used it as a complete replacement for the M16, and I think maybe the US Army might even be considering replacing the M16 with the M4.
Unable to locate the AWOL zone. Nothing else to report.
It uses the same ammunition as the M16, the 5.56 millimeter NATO rounds. So and the parts are interchangeable, or some of the parts are, I imagine. So if you know how to field strip and clean and repair an M16, you can do the same thing with an M4. Ha! Guy never saw that coming. Where is this stupid rifle? The AK I'm talking about. It's in this room, now I remember. Because there's the ammunition for it. Although there is some M4 ammo. There it is. Now, we finally have the AKS-74U. Now that is a carbine version of the AK-74, which is a Soviet and now Russian assault rifle that was designed to be kind of fulfill the same purpose as the M4 does for the M16. It's smaller than the AK-74, fires the same ammunition, and has a folding stock, so it's suitable for very crowded spaces where you don't have enough room to maneuver around, or you put it in a tank or something like that, or like in an airplane or paratroopers or something like that. This Kalashnikov design is one of the most popular assault rifles in the world. Pretty much any country that doesn't manufacture their own assault rifles uses the AK design. There's several different versions of them. There was originally the AK that were called the AK-47. Then there was the AKM that replaced it a few years later, which the 47 in the AKM fired a much larger round, like the 7.62, which is closer to a full battle rifle cartridge. Whereas the AK-74, and by extension of that, the AKS-74U, fires a different kind of cartridge, a much smaller one. I forget exactly what the dimensions are, but the idea behind it was to sort of mimic the same kind of characteristics that the M16 or the M4 do with their 5.56 millimeter round does, where it's a very narrow cartridge, very narrow round that when it hits something, it destabilizes and starts tumbling through it, tumbling through the body of a person who's soon to be dead. So it causes much more damage on the exit rather than the entry point. Russians like that idea, so they kind of mimicked it with the AK-74. So it loses a bit of traditional stopping power in favor of that ability there. I imagine some people don't like that. They want the higher power cartridge rather than the bizarre one that they're using nowadays. And also, one of the reasons why I had to go and collect one of these AKs from the armory was because all of the other soldiers that are standing around outside of the Central Core are using AN-94s. Now that is a completely different weapon. It's still of Russian design, but it doesn't look like an AK, and it doesn't have the same kind of mechanisms as the AK. I'm not even sure it uses the same cartridge. So he couldn't just nab a soldier and steal one of them, even if he couldn't use it. He couldn't just carry it around. And this is what we needed to get through this security check. And now we have our elevator. And to keep this episode from going on too long, I'm going to end this episode here. So tune in for the next one, and we'll head down into the hostage area and go and talk to Ames.